to follow. This last trio, amazing. Another round for Burton and team, just amazing. I am so humbled to be here today as well, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your candidate for California State Treasurer because the stakes have never been greater and the time has never been better for us to step forward and offer an alternative path for our fellow citizens up and down the state. Let me share a little bit about my background, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the son of hardworking Mexican immigrant parents who settled in the Central Valley as farm workers, toiling the field, picking lettuce, grapes, and tomatoes, back-breaking work. They later upgraded to their professional status to become factory workers in Vernon, in Southern California. And that is an upgrade, let me tell you, because farm work is laborious work. But let me tell you, it also created the strictest, hardworking ethic that I have seen in a man, my father. And his values have been imparted on me through my formation as a child, and they formed the man that I am today as well. I've served as a city council member and a mayor in deep blue Los Angeles County, city of Cudahy. My city is 98% Hispanic, mostly Spanish speaking, and 90% Democrat. Think about that. Against that backdrop, I have been consistently elected to the position of mayor and city council member, on one occasion as the highest vote getter in the recorded history of my city. Because I speak to issues that resonate with ordinary people. Let me give you an idea of just how troubled my region is. My neighboring city is the city of Bell. Everybody's heard of this case of Bell. This is the corrupt town which 10 years ago featured a city manager paying himself $1.5 million a year in a town where the average income is $30,000. Think about that disgusting violation of the public trust. My own city had a similar episode of corruption. The dollar signs were a little bit smaller, but the conduct no less egregious. And against that backdrop, I had to look myself in the mirror after having been relocated to the area from New York City and determine whether it was the right time for me to step forward. And that comes with considerable self-sacrifice, I gotta tell you. I mean, Brian and others know the cold reality of getting into politics. If you have a life in the private sector or if you have a life with your family, it comes with considerable self-sacrifice. Unless you're corrupt. If you are corrupt, getting involved in politics can be very lucrative, I'll tell you that. But for me, it was a very difficult decision. I've been in the private sector for the last 20 years, working in finance and economics at the highest levels of corporate organizations. Organizations like the American Express Company, Ernst & Young, KPMG, Credit Suisse Group, where I worked for a couple of years in Zurich, Switzerland. I'm a certified public accountant. I know finance better than my finance city director that we ultimately terminated when I came on board back in 2013. But ladies and gentlemen, the stakes have never been greater in today's year. 2022 is not 2018. We have a real shot at making inroads with communities and demographics that historically have not voted Republican. Let me give you some reason to be optimistic. Wall Street Journal reported not too long ago that among Hispanic Americans, 37% nationwide are positioned to vote Republican in the upcoming congressional midterms. 37% versus 37% for Democrats. For the first time ever, Wall Street Journal is reporting a balanced demographic across the country. Just last week, an updated poll shows that that mix is 45% and 43%. Think about that. African Americans, when Joe Biden first entered the White House, 75% approval. Today, it stands at a staggering 50% approval. Asian Americans, only a third believe that Joe Biden should be the next president of the United States. Think about this opportunity. And by the way, the issues transcend inflation or economics, which happen to be the most important issues for Hispanic Americans, by the way, but it transcends those issues. It's about public safety, and we heard about that a few minutes ago. It's about the decrepit public education system in the state of California, which to me is exceptionally personal. I graduated from a high school that was ranked in the bottom 10% of public schools. I know what it is to be victimized by a decrepit public education system. It is only through the grace of God that I was able to escape and attend and graduate from Harvard University and from Stanford University with degrees in economics. And I'm very proud of that. But it was not an easy track. And I am concerned about the risk that the current environment, that perpetuating the status quo, presents to young people today. We can change this, ladies and gentlemen. Again, it transcends all of these issues that I've talked about. It's the woke agenda, which is its own worst enemy. Again, my city is 90% Democrat. I know all of my neighbors, and not a single one of them, not one, ever signed on to transgender education for 5-year-olds. Not one did. So let me tell you, the woke agenda is its own worst enemy. Things are going to change, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to close with one story which is very important to me, and I hope I don't get too emotional, but there is a lady in my city. She's 85 years old, a simple woman, no education, Spanish speaking only, reminds me of my grandmother. She reminds me of my grandmother. In the wake of the corrupt scandal that plagued my city back in 2013, when the scandal was all over the news and when people lost hope, when there was no more public official trust, she came to me and she said, "Jack, I know I can trust you," is what she said to me. Ladies and gentlemen, I am fighting for all Californians, but in this race I think about people like that woman, and I shall never violate that trust. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.